Hi, how you doing there, folks? I'm making this video to talk about New York City, and New York City is being made the target of very heavy budget cuts coming from Governor Paterson, New York State Governor Paterson, and Washington is not doing anything to aid New York City's budget crisis also because no aid is being increased coming from Washington. Basically, what is happening is New York City is facing budget cuts from Albany that could result in FDNY cuts, Fire Department New York City cuts, that could lead to the possible closure of as many as 63 engine and radar companies. Number one, a layoff of almost 3,500 police officers, and a layoff of as many as 1,800 teachers, plus a whole bunch of other budget cuts, folks. Now, really, Albany should not be cutting aid to New York City at all, because New York City sends more aid to Albany than we here in New York get back. Number one. Number two, also, more money comes from New York City being sent to Washington, the federal government, than New York City also gets back also. Number two. Number three, aid from Washington to New York should be increased, not decreased. Number one, I'm going to put it through like this, okay? A lot of state and local governments' mass transit systems are having trouble with budget crunches as a result of the recession. Now, Washington bailed out banks to the tune of approximately $700 billion, did cash for clunkers, helping the well-to-do to buy brand new cars. Okay? Now, a lot of states and cities are having budget crunches. Mass transit systems are having budget crunches, and what is happening is Washington has did bailouts to aid the rich and well-to-do. Now it is time for Washington to now bail out the cities, states, and mass transit systems that are having budget crunches as a result of the recession. And the way to do that is, you see, a lot of programs are in danger of being cut that people in the middle class, lower middle class, and the upper lower class need as a result of cities and states that are having budget crunches, and mass transit systems are having budget crunches and facing the prospects of having to do service cuts, which is going to make it very tough for people to get around in cities, you know, with people that cannot afford vehicles and all that. And that is totally unfair. But what Washington basically did was they bailed out the rich. They bailed out the banks to the tune of $700 billion or more, number one. Number two, Washington did cash for clunkers. All that money spent for cash for clunkers, I think, should not have been done at all. That money that Barack Obama used for cash for clunkers should have been used to aid mass transit systems that are having budget crunches. To get service not being decreased and transit systems, and to get transit service increase. Instead, what Barack Obama did was he did cash for clunkers, helping the well-to-do to buy brand new cars. Now, another thing that Washington should do is look at the causes of why the recession happened to begin with. The reason for the recession is because most of our factories in the U.S. have closed down as a result of everything being made in China. Almost everything is being made in China, folks. So every time you buy something, look at where it says it's being made in. It doesn't say made in the U.S. And no, it says made in China. Now, untold numbers of factories have been closed over the past 6 years, especially some states that have been hit the hardest is Ohio, upstate New York, and in New York City. The garment district is almost dormant here because everything is being made in China. An untold number of factories have been closed in factory districts here in New York City, resulting in millions unemployed, and that is the reason. Now, when they say the U.S. economy is growing, they're really saying that Wall Street is growing and the people that own stocks are actually getting more and more money. But but I don't look at that as the economy is growing. The economy is growing when we start seeing factories being opened in the United States and a lot of these unemployed getting their manufacturing jobs back. That's when I will say that the economy is growing. Now, it was a big mistake for Washington for us to be signing a free trade agreement with China with 100% free trade, because all we did was give our manufacturing base away. That's all we did. We gave away our manufacturing base. The way free trade should be with China, I agree there should be some things made in China because the Chinese could actually do it a little bit better. It should have been done along these lines. Okay, goods that manufacture that sell for up to $80, continue having those goods made in China, because those goods could actually be made more cheaper, and the Chinese could actually make them much better. Okay, goods that sell for over $80, put high tariffs on those goods and get these goods made in the United States again. Plus, another thing is, so many people have been out of work in these hard-hit cities that have lost factories where everything is being made in China now, that a lot of people there actually would be willing to work for much less than they were before. So I think the free trade agreement with China needs to be watered down, and that's how we're going to get out of this recession.